How we doing? It's Mailman Nick. Follow me on Instagram at Mailman Nick. If you enjoy this content, please hit the thumbs up. Don't treat me like a 204B over here. And obviously, these are my own thoughts and opinions. I'll not speak on behalf of the Postal Service. I wanted to make a video because I haven't made one of these in a while where I basically lay out and explain my day as a mail carrier, because it's changed since, well, the duties haven't changed, but my route has changed, my title. I think the last time I made a video like this, I was a PTF. So I'm almost 5 years in December as a city letter carrier. Feels like 20 years, but only 5 years coming up in December. I am at Step B as a letter carrier. I deliver outside of Chicago, south suburbs of Chicago. I actually deliver in a pretty decent neighborhood. The other area we deliver is like so, but my route is in a nice neighborhood. So I start my day basically clocking in at 8 o'clock. Every office is different. Well, hold on, rewind. So when I wake up, I wake up, I check the weather app, especially right now. It is the end of October. It's when it starts to get cold. It's when it starts to get darker sooner. So I'm always checking the weather app in the morning. If it says below 50 degrees right now, I make sure I layer up. Like today, for example, it was 30 something in the morning, and then it got to like almost 60 midday. Hi, Bella. Say hi, Bella. She's cute, isn't she? She's a little baby. Himalayan cat. So it was almost 60 degrees by the time it was like 2-3 o'clock. It was sunny, so I ended up taking off my layers. But I always check that weather app because you don't want to underdress. You don't want to overdress. If overdress isn't the end of the world, you could always take it off. But if it's going to be cold and you're only in a t-shirt, you're going to be miserable all day. Especially if you're delivering at night, the weather drops even more. But I check the weather app first thing. I try to eat a little something before I leave, but it doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes I hit that snooze button. We've all been there before. And also checking the weather too, if it's snowing or not, because that also affects what shoes I'm wearing. If there's no precipitation, I'm not wearing boots. But if there's rain, if there's snow, hail, whatever it is, I'm gonna be wearing my boots just because I'm gonna be wet. So a lot of stuff goes into before I even clock in, like the preparing to clock in, preparing for the weather, preparing for being outside. I have no idea why people message me saying I didn't think I was gonna be out late or they expect me to deliver when it's raining. Even when it's raining, you still gotta deliver. It's not like you wait until the storm is over. You're gonna get in trouble. You gotta, unless you fear for your safety. If you feel for your safety, that's a completely different scenario. But if it's just raining, you got to keep delivering. So I clock in at 8 o'clock. My office clocks in at 8 a.m. Some people clock in at 8:30 because they have to take their kids to school. That's something my office kind of does, where they'll come in a little later if they have to take their kids to school, things like that. I clock in. I go straight to my vehicle. I grab my vehicle key. I check my Metris. My route, City 17, I have a Metris assigned to me. I'm right on the fence, so there's nobody on the right of me, which is nice. I'm on the end. Check everything, make sure there's no issues with the tires, brakes. That stuff is important because even these Metrises are newer vehicles, but they have problems all the time. Not too long ago, I had a breakdown. They always check your vehicle, see if it's working right, because you don't want to end up loading your truck and then you barely hit the street and there's your issues with your Metris, and then you gotta unload and reload. It's just time wasting. So And plus you can get into an accident, so be prepared for that. Always check your vehicle. After I check my vehicle, I go to, so we got tub mail by our cases. We got tub mail over by where, in my office, they got tubs where they're throwing mail, they're throwing the flats. We used to have FSS. I think that's what it was called. It's been so long, I don't even remember. But we have flats, which are magazines and like, that type of mail by my case, and then over by where they throw the mail. And then they also have the A-frame, which is the slanted rack where we have our letters, and then the hot case. All that I check. My office, we have a no lunch policy, so after I grab my mail, I'll go sign that so I don't forget. When I sign it, they don't take my lunch out. I don't take a lunch, but I do take my breaks. Then I case up my mail depending on volume. Right now, volume towards the winter time, volume gets heavy. So today was a regular day and I had 5 trays of DPS. I had a run in the DPS. A run is basically, I think it was a dental run that hit every house. So if you're hitting every house, your route takes longer. If you skip a few houses because they don't have mail, then that makes the time go by quicker, and you finish your route sooner. But you case up your route. In Academy, they tell you have to case by a certain number. I don't even listen to that. Just case as efficiently as you can. You don't want to go too fast where you're making mistakes. Like on my route, for example, there's multiple streets. The only thing changing, the same number, same street name or street number, straight number, or same number, but the only thing changed is place or street. So that can mess you up if you put it in the wrong spot. So you want to make sure you're casing efficiently, because you don't want that to happen, because it's so easily, it could easily happen. So be prepared for that. You case up your route. In my office, I don't know how other offices are, but our clerks are almost never on time with throwing packages, so we end up having to come back for packages in the middle of our route, and then have to backtrack packages. That happens mostly every day, unfortunately. On casing up my route, I make sure I try to case up my flats first, and then I case up my little letters, because it's easier to, it seems easier to me that way. If there's a run I got to case, I'll case up that first, go 2 at a time. How my case is set up, where each slot has like 2 addresses, so I'm able to go 2 at a time for the most part. Once I get my route cased up, while I'm casing my route up, my supervisor usually will give me my instruction on what I'm doing after my route, my overtime. Hey, Nick, you got 2 hours on City 35s. You got 3 hours on City 65. Whatever it is, they'll tell me before I usually leave. But sometimes, they don't know if carriers are coming in. Like, for example, this week, a carrier, they didn't know she was coming in. They give her route up, and then they're like, oh, she's coming in. So Audible changing my overtime, my extra, which is annoying. But I've come to realize, until I have the mail in my hands, don't assume I have a route for my overtime, because it's probably going to change a million times. So yeah, they'll give me my extra. Then once I'm ready to pull down, I pull down my route in delivery order, put it in a tray, grab my DPS, which is my letters already in order, group that up, put it on my packages. We have a gurney with packages, put that on there, wheel it to my truck, and then you got to use the load truck feature, especially if you don't know the route. Load truck feature helps. Load up your packages in your truck, organize it. I have a certain way I organize my route, and then I put the letters, or I put the mail up front and the packages in the back, and then I go to my route. There's a few parking points. When you have When you're on a certain route, there's usually parking points. If it's a walking route, my route has 10 half-hour relays, so that's 5 hours. I have 7 cluster boxes, which takes me a half hour, and then I have 30 minutes of driving. So there's a little bit of everything. It's nice that I don't have any businesses. I feel like for me, businesses slow me down. Having all residential, I'm able to go for the most part. The people on my route are super friendly. A lady just gave me some candy for Halloween. I don't really eat candy, but that was very nice of her to do. The people on my route are very nice. I'm thankful to be. The only thing I don't like about my route is the stairs. My knees and legs are killing me every day. But I make sure I stretch. One thing that I really try to do is stretch after work. I make sure I stretch. That's super important. You don't want to be tight and then, you pull something at work and all that stuff. So, I deliver my route, basically I have a parking point and then I walk a block. All my parking points bring me back to my truck. Most of the time, most of our routes are like that, but sometimes you'll have where you're on a busy street and you're doing the houses on one side, you walk all the way down and then you got to walk all the way back. Sometimes routes, it just depends on the route. But like I said, my route has 10 relays, 7 cluster boxes, and 30 minutes of driving. And then I'll usually, once I'm done, I'll go do my piece, my overtime. And then, once I change to one route to the next, I make sure I do it in my scanner. But yeah, that's basically my daily routine. It kind of, other than my overtime, it doesn't really change much. Just depends on I don't know how much I'm going to be working. If people show up, may only get 9-10 hours, but if people don't show up, I get 11-12. It just depends. But thank you guys all for watching. If there's anything more you want me to talk about, comment below, give me a like, subscribe. I appreciate every one of you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my daily routine chat, daily mail carrying chat. I'm baking some baked mostaccioli right now. I'm gonna eat, shower, and let's get this money. I'll see you guys soon.